shit, yo. One Piece chapter 714. Holy shit. See, this is what happens, right? Like, Luffy is that kid who, when he's having a really good time playing with a toy, you don't take it away from him. You take away his toy, he throws a fit. If you don't give him his toy back, he, becomes like Macaulay Culkin, Home Alone on your ass, okay? I'm gonna date myself a little. He's gonna, turn into that shit, right? Like, he's gonna be like that kid from hell. That's what happened here, right? That's what happened. So, basically, you get this really fun chapter where you see Luffy in the Colosseum and he's just kind of doing his thing, playing around, all this other shit. And all of a sudden, he's knocking all these people around and he's just getting all this popularity, right? And it's just a fucking free fall. Luffy's having the time of his life. And, the background information, we know that like Bellamy's been given the task by Doflamingo that he needs to kill Luffy. He needs to kill Luffy. That's how he'll become an officer. And it's just like Bellamy, you can tell he's conflicted. And it's so ironic because it's like Luffy gave him that, fist imprint. And I guess Luffy just knocked some friendship into his ass too. But obviously, Luffy rooting for him kind of fucked him up a little bit. And, it just shows you, right? It just shows if you give somebody an act of kindness, and especially when they're not expecting it and they don't feel like they're deserving of it, it really goes a long way. You catch more flies with honey than you do with vinegar. So it just really shows that like Luffy, because he's being so genuine, it just throws people off. He's a pirate and yet look at how he's behaving. So, I mean, I like that little aspect of that. I think that that's Oda telegraphing that Bellamy's not going to be able to do the deed. But the other thing that's kind of cool is like Luffy, as he's riding this bull that is supposed to be like basically the Grim Reaper, the boogeyman for the Colosseum, and after all this shit's going on, they accidentally run into that giant who says he wants to be the giant who has the flame fruit, so he can be the king of the giants. And I was like, oh shit, that would be fucking crazy. If you had somebody that tall and that strong with Ace's devil fruit, that'd be nuts, right? Dude just pulls down a fist, brings it on top of Moocy, which is Luffy's... Moocy. Oh shit, man. He brings down the fist on top of Moocy and Luffy, who everybody thinks is Lucy. And I see what Oda's doing with these names, but when that happens, everybody's like, oh, this is it. And I'm like, nah, I don't think that's gonna be it. Luffy's taking a whole hell of a lot more, right? Like he can go face to face with Rob Lucci and kind of live to tell a tale. He can do his damn thing, right? Man, check this out, right? Luffy just puts his hand on that bull and he's just like, okay, you've done enough. And he looks up and you get this really badass shot. This really badass shot of Luffy, his silhouette. And then you got that giant, right? And he's about to go back on his rampage and everybody's like, oh my God, what's he getting ready to do? Luffy just casually jumps into the air and punches this dude, right? With one hit, he KOs a giant. If people don't know this is Straw Hat Luffy, they're going to start figuring it out. And even Rebecca, right? Rebecca's just looking. She's like, it went from there. He's pretty impressive to like, she's stunned now. She's stunned that Luffy has done what he's done. And same with the rest of the audience. And like, even Cavendish and Bartholomew, they're fighting over who has the right to kill Luffy. And Bartholomew, I don't remember him, but apparently there's, he says he and Luffy go back further than, they go back further than Cavendish and further than Cavendish realizes. So I'm like, when'd you get introduced? Like the only thing I can think of is maybe he got introduced with what was that arc? Right after Saya Bodhi and Luffy's on Amazon Lily. But it's the arc where Luffy had the flashback and he's thinking about Ace and their childhood. The only thing I can think of is Bartholomew is from like Trash Mountain, and he's just a character that we didn't really see, like with those mountain bandits and everything. But man, it's gonna be interesting to see how Oda kind of ties that into that. Now, what I do want to talk about is this mermaid who is in Doflamingo's crew, because she's taking over the Thousand Sunny. And I like how Brook is like, man, Frankie's gonna be pissed. And that'd be kind of cool to see that fight. Like if Frankie gets around to even seeing her, because a Kokoro and Water 7, that'd be pretty cool to kind of see that interaction if that ever happens. But you know, this mermaid lady, whatever her devil fruit power is, like, she's completely done disservice to the fandom. Because, like, Nami has lost that voluptuous body of hers. You know, she's been trolled in the worst way possible, you know, but they're supposed to be looking for Momonosuke, and, you know, he turned into an eel before. It's just like he's a fucking dragon, dumbass. But, you know, he turned into the eel, and Doflamingo's thing was like, go get the Straw Hats, go get their ship, go get Momonosuke. It's just like Doflamingo looked at Law's plan and said, okay, you think you did something, bitch, you've been playing checkers, I'm playing chess on your ass. Because he's got simultaneous moves happening all at once. This is very well thought out. And like, if the Straw Hats managed to pull this off and get off Dressrosa, it's going to be fucking impressive. So what I want to ask you guys is, what was your thought about Doflamingo's plan as everything's been coming into action? What were your thoughts on it? And on a scale from 1 to 10, what would you give its execution? But as always, guys, if you like anything I had to say, don't forget to comment, rate, subscribe, share. Thank you so much for watching all the way to the end. Have an awesome day.